Blasting an ever-growing onslaught of purple-haired people. Hey everybody, my name's James. This is Girl Cafe Gun, and it is a couple of different things. On the one hand, twin stick battery, take my special attack. It's a really impressive looking top-down twin stick shooter by way of like a bullet hell kind of game, in which you're often confronted with walls and walls of plasma like you would do in like a vertically scrolling shmup or something. Really impressive, love the aesthetic. The other thing is it's a waifu game. It's one of those games where you're supposed to collect a bunch of women in quasi-revealing outfits. And that's the bit that I should have looked harder at it when I was downloading, but we play a lot of games around here, and we have to like play several of them a day and just see what's new. This is out this week, by the way. It's free to download on iOS and Android if you're interested. And I'm conflicted on it, just because there's a lot about this game that I think is really impressively done. Like, look at how nice this looks. Look how impressive this is. If this was just a standalone game that was a shooter, then it's kind of an easy recommendation to anybody. I mean, like, anybody, any age, shooty, nice and bright and colourful. It's the bits in between, or specifically the bit at the beginning of the game and cutscenes that come afterward and stuff like that, where they really lean into the fan service of it all. And if you're familiar with the term fan service, then you know what I'm talking about. If not, it's pretty lewd. It's not just the kind of waifu game where you collect people and they dress in, quasi-sexy gear and do a little giggly, girlish laugh and all that. They kind of really lean into it in a way that tips over into the more lewd scale, which I hasten to add, as a concept, is fine if that's what you're going in expecting and that is what you're interested in and into. This isn't someone saying like, hey, sexy stuff is bad, because it's not. Sexy stuff can be good. There are lots of different people to be catered for. You can have very strong girly stuff, guy stuff, everything in between. There's a lot of dating sims that lean into it, all that animal boyfriend business. All that stuff is grand, and as long as someone's, being catered for, then everybody is happy. And everyone's respectful, hopefully. But look at this. This is genuinely impressive enemy design. Like, that looks amazing. The animation is superb. All of this stuff is great, to the point where I kind of want to bring people in, and I've got a partner. I want to be like, occasionally, hey, look, this is a cool game. And then the camera will zoom in on someone's jiggly bits, and I have to go, yeah. And then my partner looks at me like, huh. And it's like, oh, you're not doing us any favors, video games. Come on. We don't all have to be serious all the time or anything, but like there's a lot going on here that doesn't really feel like, or is completely disconnected from, the whole waifu bit. QuickTime events, we're going to QuickTime now, I'm going to leap from thing to thing. And that's the stuff that caught me off guard. Now, it's my fault, I suppose, for not reading the description enough. And like I said, there are some people who might look at this and go, and feel kind of alienated by it. And like, there's a little glimpse, but you'll see more in a bit, I'm sure, because we're getting cutscenes. Wuxia, this way. The Archon's going down. Damn, this is a dead end. All we can do is run off screen and leave the other person standing there. Like I say, there are some people who will be drawn to the kind of thing I'm describing, and good for them. And there are other people who might start playing it and then go like, and feel it's all like in bad taste. And I don't want to condemn like either side of it, because I'm not into that. I don't believe that's a good idea. And like I say, I'm not anti kind of sexy content or lewd content or anything like that, because horses for courses. It's more a case of like, I didn't expect it. I wasn't looking closely enough. And perhaps when I see a title like Girl Cafe Gun, I should have probably guessed, shouldn't I? But again, there are also degrees of it. Like people who play Bayonetta, for example, that's a game that's got an overtly sexualized main character. And there's a lot of stuff where, a lot of stuff like this, where you're just zooming into people's crotches in a way that like, I wasn't necessarily anticipating that. Bayonetta does it in a sort of empowering way. This feels like, well, there you go. This feels more like straight up girl objectification. And again, if it's a lewd game and that's what the game is all about, then fine. But I'll be honest, I was about like, I was on the fence of showing it to people and being like, hey, this is really cool, look at this. And then this pops up and they kind of look at you in that, oh really, sort of way. You're like, I find this with some JRPGs as well. There's a bunch of stuff that I've played where, because I enjoy a bunch of anime stuff. I like the 90s era anime when things were, I guess, animated entirely with celluloid. I'm a big fan of like practical stuff, so the old celluloid animation really works for me. So yes, obviously you'll all have heard like the Akiras and the, you know, Ghost in the Shells and the Ninja Scrolls and all that business. And I like the style. I'm very looking forward to watching the final Evangelion. So this is not me saying, oh, I don't like anime, because I do. But certainly with JRPGs and stuff, and even not Dodonpachi. What am I thinking of? What's the one with the bear and they're all at school? I'm going to put my name in here as Ralphio, because I think that's quite a sleazy name. The game with the bear, Dodonpachi? No, I'm thinking of the wrong thing. Either way, there's a bear, he's black and he's white, and that game is really interesting, and it's got a lot of interesting character nuance, and it tackles a load of things in an interesting way. And then it has a bit where it's like, you've mishandled that quite strongly. And I feel like the same thing happens with some JRPG stuff, where 95% great, and then they throw in a weird, off-kilter, like, upskirt thing, and you're like, man, did you need to do that tonal switch at that point? And like I say, if it's signposted, it's not such a big deal, and I feel like this is more signposted. It's my fault for not looking at the title properly. But I think this is something that will appeal to a certain crowd who know what they're going in for. They like the Waifu games. Be aware that it's more on the lewd side. It's not quite the safe for work version of a nice friendly wife collecting simulator. It is going to do the big zoom ins on wiggly bits. So be warned going in. And if you're not, or you're sensitive to that kind of thing, this isn't for you. But yeah, Girl Cafe Gun, out right now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.